scan this QR code, but then you have to do 50 other things.
Right, and then log in and put this 4-digit combination in.
It doesn't necessarily make it faster for me to scan a code and have to go to a different place to essentially do the login. Like when I'm already ready, I'm like, at that point, I'm humming along. Like, let me just, boom, boom, let's do this.
We're going to look back at this time and be like, what were we doing? and Hulu, for whatever reason, always
just scan my retina and let me fucking live.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to Our Film Fathers Podcast, the definitive podcast about fatherhood, film, and fatherhood in film. This is Jelani, and with me as always are Lisan Al-Gaib and Kwisatz Haderach, Martin and Brady.
The mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience, a process that cannot be understood by stopping it. We must move with the flow of the process. We must join it. We must flow with it.
The visions are clear now. I see possible futures all at once. Our enemies are all around us, and in so many futures they prevail. But I do see a way. There is a narrow way through.
This week, we're once again diving into the epic world of Frank Herbert's Dune, brought to life in Denis Villeneuve's visionary adaptation, Dune Part 1, and the recently released Dune Part 2. As we journey through the sands of Arrakis, we are all blue-eyed Fremen now. From politics to religion and also ecology, these stories have a little bit of everything woven throughout. So grab your still suits as we venture into the dunes and debate. Would you drink the water of life?
Well, would you?
Seems painful.
Doesn't seem great for guys. Not gonna lie there.
Yeah, a lot of evidence against. a lot of cons. So we are. Is this our first revisit of a movie we've already done?
Pretty much.
I mean, like directly, I guess.
The episode we did before, we talked about David Lynch's Dune and Dune Part 1. So this one we're doing Part 1 and Part 2 of the complete Denis story. But I don't know that it's complete. Not complete. There might be more coming.
I don't know that
there's a lot more Dune stories apparently in the books. But from what I understand, they get kind of weird. So I think he's going into the stuff that still all works together and tells a complete story, and he might tell the third one.
Well, I know I would have said it the first time around, and I will say it again. I fucking love the Dune world. Like rewatching Part 1, I just think that movie's so amazing. I can't take my eyes off of it.
Yeah.
It's like so visually amazing, and I think the story is so well told as well. And I remember not liking the old original Dune at all, and I don't care about that one at all. For moving forward, this is all the Dune I need. And
yeah, it's fair.
Denis is a master.
He is.
We've talked about him before, and we're not reinventing the wheel by saying that. He's so amazing, and he's like, I can't. Thank God he did these movies and not someone else.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where I think maybe we have to hold him comparable to Nolan.
I think we already talked
about it.
Yeah, I think we did talk about that with Oppenheimer, maybe.
And different.
Well, Oppenheimer, but we also did
Prisoners,
Sicario recently,
yes.
And where I think you asked that question, like, is there a parallel or who's on their level?
They're two of the best, they're doing it.
They're
right
top of their game for sure.
Yeah. I saw a note that he was in line to direct one of the Bond films, but because this came out, he switched over to
Passion Project.
Passion Project, right. I was like, oh, that would have been good. A Denis Bond film would have been really
I mean,
it could still happen.
Well, that's the thing.
True.
Of course it would be good, because he's amazing. Like, whatever he's doing, I have full trust, right? Like, he was able to do... And he said, like, he wouldn't have been able to do Part 1 and then eventually Part 2, obviously, without... He kind of needed to make his own... or not make his own path, but he needed to establish himself in, like, the sci-fi world, like...
Arrival, and then...
And Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
2049, which we all really, really loved. Mm-hmm. And I still think I should rewatch it again, because I liked it so much, and it floored me how much
it's time for me to rewatch it.
How much I liked it. And Arrival, for sure. But he owns that. He dominates. Like, anything in this genre for sure. But whatever. Put a movie out there. If he's gonna if he's doing it, I'm in 100%.
Anchorman 3.
And
So it's funny because we had talked about getting around to watching Dune Part 2 after we had talked about Dune 1, and I told Jen that, and so she had watched Dune Part 2, and she was like yelling at me to watch it because she was like, I need to talk to you about it. Like, it was so good. I need to make you need to watch it. So I was like, I will get to it. So a couple weeks ago, she sat the boys down and they watched Dune Part 1.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and now we're going to do Dune Part 2, like the next night. Like, and they're like,
I tried that.
It's so late. We got to go to bed. And she's like, no, you need to watch.
You must watch. I want to sleep.
So yeah. So then when I got around, she's like, all right, I'm in. And it was like probably the third time in like a month that she's watched Dune Part 2. So she even went down the rabbit hole of like looking up about like the books and how it played out. And,
she should read the book.
Yeah.
It's well worth it. I think you guys would enjoy it as well, especially now that it was a hard read before watching the movie because like it is
but you
so
can put
visual
things to it
and
now.
There's so many of the name right, yeah. Once you're able to, and there's so much with the names, especially right in the beginning. Like they throw you right into the world. They talk about Kwisatz Haderach and the Bene Gesserit and just all this stuff that you have no idea. You don't know what year it is or how much technological, like the reason why any of this stuff happening, and they just throw you into the middle of it. But once you kind of understand the world better, it's easier to read the book. So I think you guys would enjoy it at this point. And like I think I said it last time, like it's just foundational sci-fi. Like you just see how much this influences Star Wars and everything that's come after it, and it's done in such a clever way, and it blends all that Game of Thrones political intrigue stuff too so easily into it, and the concepts of the one or the chosen one and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it enhances the experience and understanding of it, and seeing the difference that they do. So like you'll appreciate even more what Denis has done with the source material, because yeah, there's a lot of, it does get weird. There's some things that you just be like, that wouldn't translate as well, and he handles it all flawlessly because he makes it more exciting. And he presents it, and the changes that he makes serve the movie really well, and make it more modern too, or something. There's parts of it, and but he preserves the parts that are important, I think, to fans too. Well, and I don't think anyone's complained. Like nobody's going to be like, he didn't follow this. Maybe somebody out there is pissed, but I don't think so. I think everyone's
he
like
just crushed it.
Yeah, exactly, ecstatic with what he did.
Well, and I think. If I had any hesitation at all first time around, I think it was and not that I came in with this like inflamed or huge passion about like, I hope he does Dune right. Yeah. I just wanted, it's like, oh cool, Dune's
not going to top
like
Lynch's.
I'm in on I was just more excited that like Denis was doing this huge movie.
And you're such a Chalamet fan.
Well, and that's where I'm going. I was like, okay. So should I be excited about a Timothée Chalamet-led, movie? He is pretty great.
Perfectly, yes.
Yeah.
Because
he's got the youth, obviously, on the early side, which is true. And he really, physically, he's not like, that much bigger, but he is matured so much by like the middle and end of the second movie.
Yeah.
That it's not a stretch at all to see him in this like, faux dominating, like persona,
and he acted it well, right? Like when he screams and yells in the middle of the group, like it's believable.
Yeah,
he was absolutely, can't imagine anyone better cast.
No,
yeah,
and he really is like perfect for
Zendaya, I think too. Javier Bardem too. I mean, literally everyone. I don't know that there's a. Did we talk about this last time? Is there a
maybe?
Misstep in
but I had a note saying like I just felt like they cast so well. It's possibly the best Momoa casting you could do.
Yeah,
he's like it's like exactly right. He's charming. He's a badass.
So Duncan, Idaho.
Yeah, he's classic Duncan, Idaho. Brolin is just a badass.
I love Brolin.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel, and we haven't talked about how much I love Rebecca Ferguson. She's amazing. Oscar Isaac gets lost in the shuffle because he doesn't make it too long through the first one. But I mean,
he's amazing.
Kind of a
Sean Bean in in Game of Thrones.
So I have one complaint. We'll see how this goes over. Christopher Walken, I'm not sure I like that.
Yeah,
I don't think
it didn't need to be Christopher Walken.
He is too much of a thing.
Yes, I agree.
That he shouldn't have been the emperor. I just that for me was a miss.
I didn't hate it, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with you.
I felt like
he's
become such a shtick,
agreed.
Like people do Walken because he's he's so unique, and he doesn't do that. He didn't do that at all. But he wasn't even himself in that way in this movie.
Yeah,
but you just can't. I don't think look at Christopher Walken and not like try to do it.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
I didn't know you could do a Walken. I really can't. I every time I try, it comes out terrible, so I'm not going to.
Does it sound like a leprechaun?
Don't ask me to. Yeah, something. It just doesn't. I don't get the cadence right.
So that was when I saw him. I was like,
What about what's her name?
Florence
Princess.
Pugh.
Yeah,
Fine.
that works.
Yeah. I've had no complaints about Florence Pugh. I mean, she's been great in everything I've seen her in.
Did you see Don't Worry, Darling?
I did not.
I thought that was pretty good.
I thought it was
for
too.
For all like the
That's the
it got some
Olivia
hate.
Wilde movie.
Yeah, Olivia Wilde, and they famously broke up right because it was hairstyles.
I mean, that's weird, but
yeah, it was like a good Twilight Zone episode,
Yeah.
or Black Mirror or something.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree.
no, never got
I
there.
thought she did.
I didn't avoid it. I just never really felt like I was that interested in it, to be honest. So I was totally fine with it. I mean, obviously, I could have done without Arya or Aaliyah, the sister.
Oh, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Went
Playing the
across
older
the
version
spectrum,
of no, isn't
No, you said Arya and then
but
Aaliyah.
isn't that her name in the sister's name is not born? I believe it is.
Oh, I don't.
It's not Arya. Arya obviously is Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Shoot, I had it, but I don't have it. So that's on me.
Yeah, it was just funny that she popped up again after we had just talked about Furiosa.
Right.
But one of the notes I had again watching part 2.
Aaliyah or Alia. I don't know.
Sure, I'll go with Aaliyah.
Yeah, so
Sounds like a Leo to me.
Watching part 2, and again, this is also a trait of a Denis film, is just the score, the sound,
Yeah.
everything that comes along with it. And I was like, was it nominated Dune 2? And I was like, I looked back, and obviously it won for sound.
it can't be yet not nominated yet, right? For doing 2, isn't just? I mean, is it too recent?
Is 2 already? Is it?
Wouldn't it be
past?
next time? I guess it was October.
I thought it was. I thought we were past the
Yeah,
Oscars.
it would have been.
It would have been in the other one.
Yeah, it would have been. It was for the
2023.
Yeah, the Academy Awards were in March, early April. So
Yeah.
this came out last
It
year.
came out in December or January. I feel like.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, it had already won for. And
They're not going back to the
right.
well
They're not
for
going
that.
back. But remember when they did the Lord of the Rings? They didn't nominate any of the first ones. Then they just waited for the third
for the
one, and
last
then they
one,
were
yeah.
like, "Yeah, we'll give it all of them."
Yeah, it's because the Oscars are bullshit.
But Hans Zimmer again throwing the original score plus the sound, the visual effects, all of it. Like everything just looks great. Like this world that they created, they took. They had the source material, but just to bring it to life on the screen was awesome. And all of the technology that they had, all of the dunes, the worms, all of it was just. It's great, and it's a huge saga that they've pulled together, and it's like, wow. I mean, when you think about people doing something special, this is something special.
I mean, yeah, because they've tried so many times to adapt. I mean, people have been talking about doing a good adaptation of Dune. This is really maybe the fourth real big. There's a whole documentary. It's called Jodorowsky's Dune. Came out in 2013. It's like, I mean, look at some of these visuals. Like this is like what they planned on doing. It just like looks crazy, right? This was this filmmaker.
I did read about
that
it.
had like he made all these books on how he was going to bring it all to life, and it just never came to pass, right? And it would have been amazing to see, but they just didn't have the technology. So really, it was such a good marriage of the technology is here and the visionary director, all the just the way that they tell stories now. This is going to definitely go to Brady's point of they make movies better now. Like in the '80s when he tried to do it, when David Lynch tried to do it, they didn't have the right. The right tech, the right way to do things or to tell a big story. People weren't willing to do a big 2-part epic. They weren't willing to wait for it. But now people are more used to that kind of stuff. So it was really the right time for this movie. And it took that many years. I mean, Dune was originally published in the 60s, I want to say. So yeah, it took what is that? 60 years for it to really come to life in the right way.
I mean, I'm just looking. If this is right on Wiki,
It's on the internet, so it is.
Wasn't nominated for a single Academy Award. I don't know if it was out in time.
Maybe not.
Like, I understand if they wouldn't win again because you're like, okay, the not being nominated would be surprising.
It is a 2024 release.
I think it's
still
hasn't been a part of it yet.
Okay, that makes sense. But the release date was November 17th, 2023.
Which does feel like it should be in time. I just find it hard to believe there would be 0 nominations.
Yeah.
0 love for
But
Dune.
coming off of that many wins, it's one thing to not be like, all right, we're not going to keep feeding that, but like, all right, we're still a nominee. Like, they clearly are doing something right.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about Austin Butler yet.
We did
Elvis.
not.
Fade.
I am not. So let's just say, going in, I have a perceived hatred of Austin Butler, mostly because he played Elvis, and I fucking hate Elvis. But
Did you watch that movie though?
no, because I hate Elvis.
But like, specifically about that scene, just the fight and how saturated white it was. I saw something and now
The way
I don't
they
have
filmed it?
But the way they filmed it, like they basically like overexposed everything. But it was a very unique
To make it
way
almost
to
look
do it.
translucent
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is it's kind of cool. And who played it better though, Austin Butler or Sting
Gordy?
in the '84?
Austin Butler.
Austin.
Yeah. The first one sucked.
kinda-
That movie was terrible.
I know, but, Sting. It's interesting though. That was
They said they offered
the guy
him a
who played the
cameo
musician.
to be in
Yeah.
the movies. He declined. Sting, obviously.
I had to look him up because I didn't know.
Sting? He's been around.
Gordon Sumner.
Austin Butler, because I thought it was one of the Scar's
It does
scarred
kinda look-
songs.
It looks like
Interestingly
Bill,
enough,
right?
Bill was in the running.
He looks so much like Bill.
That's who I thought. I thought Bill just shaved his head. Like,
Yeah, he looks like Pennywise.
I saw actually might have been on TikTok. I saw Austin Butler said
funny.
that like the prosthetic they gave him was essentially like a skull cap that went over. It connected to like his eyelids, and they're like if it was off by like a millimeter, he wouldn't be like it wouldn't be able to either blink or like it would mess up. So like it was a very precise like piece that he had to wear.
And Stellan was the Baron, so
Right.
that would have been
should have
Yeah.
done
Should have
it.
been.
Well, that was Uncle, so
Oh, well, whatever.
yeah, close
Still a
enough.
bloodline.
Stellan's great. I just he's really great at that in that role. The Baron, Harkonnen.
The big floaty. bad
I
guy.
think I think it's perfect. And then so was it a big? Do you guys remember it being the big reveal that he's part Harkonnen too? Harkonnen.
Do I remember it? What do you mean?
I mean, like it was a big reveal for you guys, right? Watching Dune 2.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do that in part 2, right? It's
Yeah.
not in the first one.
Correct.
not
Right.
the first.
No. They only find out, and she says she only finds out
Right.
Yeah.
when she drinks the water of
yeah.
life. So there's no way anyone could have known because
Right.
no one. I mean, I guess maybe. So what I was reading was
I'm just saying that was I remember reading the book and being like, oh shit.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, exactly.
well-
and I just think it's such a cool, again, it's the Star Wars thing, right? Like I am your father.
Yeah.
They definitely ripped this off from here, right?
Well,
like
the
big bad is everyone's dad,
the
grandpa.
what I was reading was that after drinking the water of life, they learned that they're the daughter and grandson of Baron Harkonnen. The movie doesn't reveal how this came to be, but in the prequel novels that you're talking about of Dune, the Reverend Mother Gaius Helen, played by Charlotte Rampling, the head of the Bene, is revealed to be she's revealed to be their mother and grandmother.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
she once requested a child from
Spoiler
Baron
alert.
as part of the Bene's plan to,
yeah,
their intertwining of bloodlines.
right. They've been doing it for
to which
centuries.
he
they said,
conceded
yeah.
by raping her in retaliation, she inflicted a disease on him that made him deformed and severely obese. So that is maybe all could have come out at some point or along the lines. Although
in Dune 13 or whatever,
I thought you were going to say in Dune time.
You should have.
All in Dune time. Yeah, very good.
No, that was very. I was definitely not. I mean, that was like awesome, a great reveal in my opinion, and to see and realize like that there are all those bloodlines that are essentially being attempted to be manipulated by the Bene, and then have Paul essentially heading up the Fremen, part Harkonnen, Atreides,
Part Atreides,
and then making a play for and becoming, or I guess I don't know if officially becoming emperor or how that really.
Well, that's officially becoming emperor, but also like you said, being the Lisan al Gaib, being the Kwisatz Haderach,
Muad'Dib,
being Paul Muad'Dib, his own name, being an Atreides, being a Harkonnen, and
Paul
Usul.
Muad'Dib Field Mouse.
How many names does this guy have?
More than ODB.
Usul.
Yeah, the Usul one I never really. What did that one come? That's from.
That was just the one that Javier gave him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So many. And that's the thing. Like the book does have like a glossary in the back for just figuring out, because there's so many times where it's like, see this, and it's like there's 4 different names for the same thing, and you're like, shit.
Yeah.
I had to really spend some time learning this world, And
it's a huge world. The world build that we've talked about before that Denis does a great job of. I mean, the sand is it's awesome how well it's like such a landscape for them to be living about. I saw a note where they're like, their still suits were supposed to be like more sand colored, hence their ability to hide, but like on film, they made them darker so that you could actually see people walking around, which is kind of
I didn't really think about it being black because it's not the best desert.
We can never see them. Oh, they're all right there.
My thing that I told Jen,
I don't see anybody. I see 100 blue eyes down there.
The spice.
I asked Jen, I was like, worm riding is difficult, right? And like, but my bigger question was,
Jen was like, honestly, yeah.
No, not at all. That's why everyone could do it.
Right. But my bigger question was, how are the worms moving? Do you know how a worm moves? How does
I assume it's like tremors. You have these little spikes on their back that moves through.
But they didn't show any spikes.
Friction.
Is it just friction? She's like, there's an episode on like Wildcrats about how worms move through the ground. I'm like, I probably may need to go watch that in order to understand like how they were able to ride these worms.
These worms might be different movements considering the velocity, but
yeah, I think they eat all the sand through them.
And then they poop it out the back?
I don't know.
It just goes
they
in
they don't call it pooping though.
It's sci-fi. Yeah, right.
They spice it out the back? That's all it is? It's worm poop?
It is. I mean, that is what the spice is, right? It's part of the worm, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. The worm makes the spice.
I didn't know that.
Oh, they did not say that? See, I forget what they actually
I blacked out at that part.
Yeah, I don't think I recall that. I know that the
baby
water,
worms.
the water of life comes from inside the worm.
That too,
Is
right.
that like foie gras? The foie gras of the worm?
The spice is just like worm poop.
Excrement.
And the water of life is the foie gras of worms. That's a good way to put it.
They should value them worms a lot more.
They do. Okay, sorry.
And then she drowned that one to get
she's out there killing
the
one.
spice of life, right? Or the water of life?
That's the only way to get it, yeah. It's
To
the foie
drown
gras, yeah.
Oh, there are a lot of baby worms just laying around.
Well, that was a small one.
Feels like they need water of life.
They got to spread them out, though, so
Water of life's
they
very
don't kill
important.
each other.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have taken it while pregnant.
Feels like they should have, or someone should have said something.
Someone
right.
should have known.
Put a little warning label on the bottle.
Maybe that Reverend Mother that was about to off herself would have sensed that there was a baby in the vicinity.
Right. For all their sensing,
Right.
knowing everything.
Are you pregnant?
Ah, shit.
Is that Batman
Your
coming in?
sister's gonna be fucked.
The deep voice is Batman-esque.
But yeah, I mean, it all drives the story forward in such a good way.
It does, and
You
like
know?
it. I will say there are definitely stretches of the movies that could be perceived as like being slow and not a lot happening. But again, I feel like I still could
draws
never stop watching it. Like it's so engrossing, and they are. You can't take your eyes off of it. I think.
I feel like people felt that way about the Lord of the Rings movies. I watched them all. I just never was like, I need 3 hours of looking at the ring. You know, like it felt those felt much more like what you just said. Like there were long stretches of time where nothing much happens, and I was just like, get on with it. Throw that ring into the fucking mountain. But this one, I don't tire of it. I feel like it's always interesting.
I mean,
There's
going back through the first one again, and then and freshly watching the new one, I will say I'm still disappointed I haven't seen either of these in the theater. I think that was probably the
Saw
right.
them both in the theater.
Yeah, it's probably the right play, but
Yeah. There's not. I mean, there's not a ton that you have to watch in the theater, but yeah, these are the ones.
and that's always been my thing, right? Like there are movies you definitely do not need to watch in a theater, and I kind of just want to pay back the knee.
Jen noticed one part that we both like agreed it was when
Should we be having Jen on the pod? Is
she
that what you're
might
telling us?
for this episode she might have been better than me.
She's busy rewatching Dune 2.
When they kind of show them Paul and Chani like sweaty and breathing, she's like, I'm glad they didn't show more of that because that would have been an awkward conversation to have with the boys. But
Most people aren't pulling their youth in. You guys got to see this.
But to that point,
Riding the sandworm?
is that what they call it on
Yeah, I think
Arrakis?
that's what they call it on
Ride the
Arrakis.
sandworm.
I mean, what are they doing? Just riding the sandworm.
But I read somewhere that that's one of the traits of like American films is that they will use violence over intimacy like way more. And it's like you can't show like two people being intimate, but you can show like 400 people killing each other.
We're a
and stabbing
Christian nation.
Yeah, like stabbing each other in the chest and in the neck and like
Virgin Mary, Crusades. We're okay with killing people in the name of religion, but no woman should ever have sex. The ideal is to just be a virgin your whole life, but still have babies somehow. I mean, I don't know.
And let them fight. I'm going to veer off this topic, but
you don't want to keep
thank
going
you.
down this path.
I'm going to get to the trivia
Save
portion
me.
that I always like to ask you to.
Oh, nice.
This cast for both movies features 2 Oscar winners and 5 Oscar nominees. Name those people.
Christopher Walken.
You have to tell me where you're putting
where
people.
are you putting them?
Oh, what? Okay, say it again.
2 Oscar winners, 5 Oscar nominees.
Well, do the 2 winners, are they also the 2 of the nominees?
No.
No, okay.
Okay.
Walken
I think it's
is a winner.
Correct.
And I don't know. Oh, Austin Butler, did he win? Yeah, Austin Butler is the winner.
What did he win for?
Elvis.
He sure didn't.
Oh, he did. Damn it. Why did I think he did?
I don't know.
Then he's a nominee.
Correct.
Oscar Isaac nominee?
No, Oscar Isaac is not, which I honestly was kind of
Did
surprised by.
Chalamet get
Chalamet's
one for
nominated.
for the
Call Me by Your Name.
Nominee.
Nominee.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh nominee?
Nominee.
For what though?
Don't worry, darling.
no.
Right?
No.
No, maybe Midsommar? No.
Not a horror film.
Right.
Correct.
Couldn't be an Ari Aster movie.
No, it's Little Women.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
Rebecca Ferguson, no. Stellan Skarsgård, no. Javier Bardem
Javier Bardem
definitely got
winner.
nominated, and it was for
No Country for Old Men. Best supporting actor.
Did he win it?
He's a winner.
Oh, good job.
He's your other
but
winner.
He also got nominated for a different movie too. I think it was for. I forget what it's called.
He's listed under winner.
Yeah.
Vicky
Once you're a
Cristina
winner-
Barcelona.
Once you're a winner, it doesn't matter. He got nominated.
Yeah,
for a
once
different
you're.
movie.
I think it was his role in Collateral.
his brief stint. I would have gone with Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Yeah, but it wasn't that either. It was like
Javier and Christopher Walken are your winners. You have named Chalamet, Butler, and Pugh as your nominees. There are 2 nominees left, and I can tell you, or you can take one more stab
Brolin?
at it. Brolin is a
For-
nominee.
For W? No.
That's a good guess.
Leah Seydoux? No, I don't know.
Ooh,
Charlotte
I
Rampling.
did like to see Charlotte Rampling.
Good.
You don't see her face, but
Was it what movie was it? The Piano Teacher or something? No.
the pianist.
No.
That's Anna Paquin.
Yeah, Anna Paquin. And she was the youngest,
the youngest
winner
winner.
at that point.
Milk is Brolin. He was he portrayed Dan White in the biopic Milk.
Oh.
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn
Yeah, nice.
played Harvey Milk. Which I'd be honest, I saw that movie, thought it was pretty good. Don't remember Brolin being in it.
Yeah.
What did Rampling?
It's one of those that
nominated
I
for?
never want to watch again. It's just like, that was good. Okay.
Yeah, which is
Something in the 70s, I want to say Rampling. It feels like it was Love.
that was weird.
Something.
Love Story.
No.
Swimming pool?
French movie?
Oh, is it Swimming Pool?
No, I'm trying to find it. It didn't come up as early as easy as the other ones did. 45 years? Is that it? Yeah. 2016, Best Actress, 45 years. I don't know what that is,
Okay.
but interesting. I thought it was like a Lifetime Achievement Award. But anyway, yeah. So I could see, there's definitely a chance you could see a Zendaya at some point being a nominee. She's obviously young.
Have you guys seen her new movie, Challengers?
But I have not. There's a lot of TikTok buzz.
Yeah, a lot of TikTok. At the time, it's died down since, but everyone was all worried about her portrayal and what Tom Holland thought of it. But it's like, settle down, people.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really. I'll probably watch it at some point, but I wasn't like rushing. To see it.
I would say
I heard it was good.
There's a chance you could see an Anya Taylor-Joy nomination at some point down the road. I mean, she was uncredited, but I mean, she's definitely very clearly.
And she'll be in the next one, I think.
I would think
a
so.
lot.
So yeah, and I personally think Rebecca Ferguson's awesome. So I hope she at some point finds a role that she's just too busy making Mission Impossible. So not going to get nominated that way.
Impossibles and Silo.
And Silo, God, love her. I don't know. It's just something. I don't know what it is. She's just awesome. I think I'm.
You're on record saying it many times.
Yeah, I'm pro.
Would you watch
In.
The Greatest Showman?
I know. I'm not in.
She's
on it.
some banger songs.
Tell you. It might be.
It's really pretty good.
We might have to do a musical
I've
march and
heard-
I make you guys
I would-
watch it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I've heard that it's pretty good. So I'll suffer through a musical march if you.
I mean,
feel
we just watched.
feel the
Speaking
need.
of Chalamet, we did like a movie in the park and they played the new Wonka.
The Wonka.
It's not good.
I heard it was pretty bad.
Because here's the thing with musicals. Like again, Greatest Showman. There's some really good songs. 2 in particular that are just like I'll put on a playlist. I'll run to them. You know, that kind of good. And this movie had none of those. They were all just like very simplistic and simple beats and nothing.
Is someone else from
about
this
them.
movie in that? I feel like I saw
Probably.
something and it was like Rebecca Ferguson. And
Ferguson.
I had my
so-and-so.
phone on the whole
Zendaya.
time. So it
Oh,
was-
she's in it.
She's in
Oh, well,
it.
there you go.
With Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman.
Okay,
you're,
good.
wait, you're talking about Greatest Showman?
Yeah.
Greatest Showman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was someone else in
Oh,
there.
it was
all
Wonka.
Wonka.
No, not Wonka.
And then there's a new Austin Butler movie that I do actually want to see, like
The Bike Riders?
The Bike Riders. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that looks okay too.
I feel like I've been hearing about it for a little while, so I don't know.
it keeps popping up on
My girl Jodie Comer's in it,
Tom Hardy.
Yes.
and Tom Hardy. Yeah, feels like a no-brainer. I mean, outside of Austin Butler, but
So it's kind of
I'll go
No, but
past
it had good, 81% Rotten Tomatoes score as well.
is
and there
81
was-
good?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I mean, I feel it's a
for
fair
this kind of
question.
movie, that's
For that kind of movie.
well for one that I don't know we hadn't heard much about or anything, and then all of a sudden for it to
Weirdly,
look
I
kind
feel
of
like I've been
interesting.
hearing about it for a while, but it's like finally.
Like,
but
I don't
it's
expect
out,
it to
like,
be the best, but
right. Oh, right.
I guess it's a director that's done some stuff before.
Music videos.
Mike Nick, yeah, right.
He has actually sat behind the camera at one time.
Jeff Nichols. So we'll see.
Related to
Watch
Mike.
it. Probably his son or something.
You know how it is.
So are we eagerly anticipating or just anticipating Dune Part 3.
Dune Messiah,
Messiah.
I believe is
yeah.
the
That's
next
and
one.
that's the second book.
Which I'll be honest, and I
I
have
have
a
not
note
read.
like I don't even know how I'm supposed to take the end of the movie. Like to me, it was so open ended that I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that?
War is coming.
I know, but even like the way she's handling it, and I'm meaning Zendaya, or Zendaya, I don't even know what the right pronunciation is for
Z.
that.
Just call her Z.
Z.
From now on.
But the way it ends on her, and I don't really know where she stands in the situation. And I did see something in the novels that they actually have a kid.
Yeah,
By
they,
then,
they
but
cut
they
that out.
like
Yeah,
They changed the whole thing. So that's one of the things that Jen read was because in the novel she's his concubine, and they like flipped it so that's like she's not just a subservient to Paul, right? In this one, so
no. Well, I mean that's still what he's saying to her.
yeah, but she's more of her own person in the movies.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I mean she is in the book too. It's just he says, "Yeah, I'll be married to her, but she won't." The same speech that he gives her is, you're gonna be my wife. She's just gonna be my, or you're gonna be my love. She's just gonna be my wife in
She's
name."
the beard.
Yeah, she's the beard. He's like, I will never, never be with her. I don't know. Maybe something else happens. But yes, you're right. They do have a kid that dies in the book, but they just skipped over that whole thing.
maybe for the better there.
And I think the by this because of that the sister was already born by this point. But I think they just switched the timeline and just made it quicker. But yeah, largely it still feels like the same. Yeah, it's the same ambiguous. Like war is coming, I'm going to be the emperor. But they did leave it a little bit more like Chani. Yes, on her face she left and was mad. He didn't really have a chance to talk to her.
And I feel like I still remember like his vision where she stabs him. So like to me, that's always just looming out there as potentially a possibility of now if it's whether it's a certain path, but there is that's as I'm watching, that's in my head. So it's like I don't know, like I don't know where she sits in the grand scheme of things with the way that went down.
So yeah, we'll see where they got a lot.
By the way, whatever the way you phrase the question, I'm at the top of the excited list. Love it.
Eagerly anticipating.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as Denise involved, like I have a hard time not thinking that it will be amazing.
What if Denise involved, but Hans Zimmer doesn't do the score?
I'll still think it's going to be amazing.
Okay. He'll find someone else.
And I remember that was Hans bailed on Christopher Nolan because it was Dune.
Yep.
It was like he had to do. It was like his passion project. So it's like I got to do Dune.
What if it's Jason Segel from Forgetting Sarah Marshall doing the score?
I mean, I'm going to trust that Denise got the shit under control.
It's going to get better.
I choose to believe.
Once I realized it was a comedy, it all just clicked.
As always, we are the voices from the outer world. We will lead you to paradise, but only if you subscribe. Thanks, and save it for the pod.